so good. We are onto something so beautiful. We are onto something, something so good. We are onto something so beautiful.
Hey there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Metaphysical Meetup with the Intuitive Prospector. Good morning to you. I say good morning because I'm in Seattle, Washington, here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, so we're still drinking our coffee, getting our day started. That song was Something So Good by Mr. See if I got his name here. Charlie Peacock is his name. And so a lot of my, not a lot of my, all of my music that I ever play here on my shows, my podcast, anytime music is referenced, it's always trademark free and copyright free. So I always want to call out the artist so you can go check them out. So if you like that song, it's called Something So Good by Mr. Charlie Peacock. And what I want to talk to you about this morning, you may have noticed that we have changed our logo, changed our branding. So that is intentional. I like to bring new content into a lot of what I do. We're actually working on new content for my syndicated podcast called Inspired Living. We're actually taking out, it's just going to be moving forward, it's just going to be called Inspired Living. We're taking the radio out, and we're going to also be at some point, once we get everything dialed in and figured out, we're going to have Om Times Television as part of the show. And so that will actually, I'll be interviewing my guests, and I've had amazing guests on this year. Wednesday's guest was phenomenal, loved it. I'm going to bring him back in 2026. So if you want to check out that episode, just a brilliant man, has done a lot from a Hollywood actor to a musician, was in Camelot, worked with Linda Ronstadt, a pilot, philosopher, poet, actually turned down a big Hollywood gig to follow his spiritual path. So we had an interview with him on Wednesday on Inspired Living. But we are moving to make updates for 2026 because in numerology, the year of the one is upon us. We're finishing up the year of 2025, which is known as the year of the nine. And if you follow cycles or you follow, anything, cycles of the season, we're in the fall season right now. And we know in the spring the leaves will come back to our trees. Well, hopefully they will. If they don't, then we have a bigger problem. But it's the same thing with numbers. Everything follows a pattern. I was going to show you. I was going to point to my watch. Like I had my watch on. I don't even have my watch on because everything is in a construct, right? Things are followed. We have to follow timelines. We have to follow seasons. We have to follow the same thing with the year pattern. So in the year of 2025, known as the year of the nine, which means completion, we go 1 through 9 in numerology, and then we repeat over at the year of one. So next year is 2026. So I've been working on new content, new promotions, new language commercials for the radio show. I just said radio, but it's an internet show. And as well as Metaphysical Meetup with the Intuitive Prospector. If you want to learn more about who I am, what I do, what I write, what I podcast about, the soul adventures that I share, events that I'm doing, you can just go right here to marclainhart.com or internet search the Intuitive Prospector, and that will hopefully put us together to do a little prospecting for the diamond within and the many hidden gems that are all around us. And there is a lot of gems all around us. So we try to come on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, I'm here in Seattle, Washington, the beautiful Pacific Northwest. So check your local time zone because we do have people tune in from all around the world. So that's going to be 12 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And we come on here for about an hour or so to have community, or as I like to say, connect, inspire, empower. That's a big part of what I do as a spiritual life coach, as a mentor. And a lot of the writings I do is to help people to work through this journey of life, right? And there's a lot going on in this journey of life. And if I'm gonna quote the movie Back to the Future Part 2 is when Doc shows back up, and he, if you've ever seen Back to the Future series, and Doc shows up with a DeLorean to Marty, and he just got done saving his life and his family, and he's with his girlfriend, and Doc shows up and he's all dressed wild, and he says, if my calculations are correct, we're about to see some serious shit. And I believe that is where we're heading. The world seems to be transforming. I'm not I'm an accredited, certified, tested, validated psychic medium, but I don't promote, and I don't, my information is not to promote doom and gloom. Mine is to inspire, to uplift, to connect. And the only thing that's going to take place is change. That's the one thing in human consciousness. That's why I've got Gumby sitting on the wrecking ball, because we come in like a wrecking ball, but we got to be able to swing with that. We got to be able to be flexible like bamboo. We got to be able to, be adaptable, as Darwin always talked about. Darwin always talked about, if you follow science and spirituality like I do, Darwin always talked about it's not the smartest survive, and it's not the strongest that survive this transformation. It's those that are most adaptable. And that's what we try to do, is we come on to try to give you that encouragement and that motivation to think outside the box, but help change your perspective as well, because we all sit at the table of life. We're just sitting in a different part of the table, which gives us a different perspective. Doesn't mean we're right or wrong. But moving forward, if you follow my journey, I said that I've been talking and writing and podcasting about the United States looking differently in the future, not being the United States, different countries, states succeeding, revolution, civil war, World War III. That's all going to come whether we like it or not, right? Because there's three things that drive this world, and that's ignorance, greed, and fear. And if you find yourself in those three buckets, you're going to correspond to what the world wants. But if you find yourself awakening, or you find yourself transforming or healing or moving beyond yourself to know yourself, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is to know thyself, the journey to know thyself. And what can you do with that? It can be a very, very chaotic place to be. I look at the world, in from a global scale to what's happening here in the United States with our politics, to divide, to different sets of facts, which is in the logical mindset. There is a one set of facts as we know them today, unless science or mathematics changes that. You're always entitled to your opinion here, but again, you're not entitled to your own set of facts, right? You have your free will and choice, and you have your freedom to say what you want. That's opinions, right? But we know that opinions are like eyebrows and elbows, and a lot of people around the world have those, right? So I always say in my podcast, there's billions of people across the planet, but there's only one you. And my job is to inspire you, to encourage you, to motivate you, to open the right doors of transformation or spirituality or healing, knowing that we work closely with both the science concept and spirituality, as Carl Sagan always talked about. They're not mutually exclusive. They go hand in hand, because one can't survive without the other. And that's where we're at. We're in this period of the Roaring 20s. If you follow my work or my writings, in my podcast, I've talked about the Roaring 20s would be a decade of great transformation and ascension for the human experience, for the human consciousness. I would say wait, watch, and witness. My forecasts are never 100%, but I don't know a weatherman that's always 100%. But there's little things that we can look at on the journey of life in the human experience to be like, okay, how do we adapt to that? How do we adapt when World War III breaks out? How do we adapt when the political systems around the world start to crumble because people are looking for something bigger than themselves? What happens when we learn that we're not alone in the universe? Yes, I am that guy that does have many curiosities in life. I don't know if I have any, special skill set. I just know that I'm passionately curious, and I'm always exploring both the metaphysical, the spiritual, the psychic, the mediumship, the healing, different modalities from around the world. And that is a part of to know thyself. This is a journey I've been on for 2 decades now, and to understand, who I am as the intuitive prospector, as Marc Lainhart, the name that I was given when when I was born and incarnated into this world. I was given a name, I was given a family and a set of parents, I was given a social security number. So you're already born into a system. I was also born into a religious system and learned behaviors. Part of knowing yourself is being able to break free from that, break free from, things that have been, introduced to you, which is great because that's what life is all about. Learn it from experience, but also prospect for who you are. That's what I talk about, the diamond within and the many hidden gems that are all around us. Just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not here. Now, not everybody's going to get to where I'm at. I've been on this path now, like I said, working on this journey for 2 decades, and I'm still a babe learning how to walk, learning how to crawl. I would say probably crawling, just starting to stand up and get my legs underneath me. But there's a lot of knowing yourself that you realize there's just a lot that you don't know. And again, there's things in life that are factual, there are things that are opinionated, things that are hypothesized. And what we're seeing with our technology is a divergence between the two worlds of reality and facts, and ignorance and my way or the highway. And that's eventually going to come to a tipping point. But, part of the spiritual path to know thyself, I put together a story that I want to read for you, and then we're going to do a meditation with a little bit of the world. So just remember, you become unstoppable when you work on things people can't take away from you. Things like your mindset, things like your character, things like your personality. These are things that cannot be taken away from you. Again, your mindset, I think, therefore I am. Your character, who you are and what you're trying to accomplish in this world. And you don't have to accomplish anything. I think that's been part of my struggles. I've always felt like I need to accomplish something, whether it was a higher education, whether it was the military, whether it was fire service. And I've gotten to that journey now where I don't really need to accomplish anything. I'm just happy with being alive and celebrating life on a daily basis. Because for many of you, you don't realize, and you only know this because we did a podcast on it, death and dying, and the business aspect of death, because it is business, right? But on average, without war or pandemic, the world every single day sees about 150,000 people from around the planet move to the other side, whatever that other side is for you. I call it the afterlife, Summerland, heaven. Again, heaven isn't a location because we're on a round planet, and this is Metaphysical Meetup. So metaphysically, if you're on a round planet going around a big ball of fire, there is no up or down on a round planet. So, going up to heaven is not something it's something I once believed and was taught and visualized. But for me, heaven isn't a location somewhere we go to. Heaven, or the afterlife or death, is the vibration. It's the same vibration that's in your heart that gives you a heartbeat. It's the same energy that makes your heart go. And when that energy moves and decarnates out of the physical experience, that's when you vibrate to that higher consciousness. And we call that God, heaven, afterlife, spiritual plane. I mean, it has many throughout history, and you have to decide. And some people don't believe in them. That's fine too. You're more than welcome. Agnostics, full believers, and atheists are welcome here to have conversations and chats and perspectives. But I can tell you from my perspective and the thousands of readings I've done with people from around the world, there is something to this scientifically on the other side of this. If you don't agree with that, I'd love to know your perspective on why, and respectfully listen. Right. That's part of our breakdown, is we're not listening to one another. We got a lot of fingers pointing out at the other person. We forget when there's one finger out, there's 3 fingers pointing back at us. So I want to read this story about inspiration. Good morning to my subscribers, my Patreon subscribers. We've got a new Diamond Hub subscriber, so welcome to her. You can learn more about the subscription services at marclainhart.com. The Diamond Hub is here through the Facebook portal. If you want to connect with me over on my Patreon page, my subscribers there, Patreon prospectors over there. Each one features the same, just different price sets and different opportunities to work with me throughout the month. We have one more week. On the next week is Halloween on the Friday, but the following Friday is the first Friday of the month, and every Friday, first Friday of the month, is dedicated to my subscribers, my paid subscribers. So that means, because I have some patrons that are free, which is fine. Join, be a part of that community. But this is for the paid prospectors on Patreon and Diamond Hub. That Friday is dedicated to you. So I have 2 sessions at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you have to check your local time zone, but it's through the Zoom platform, through the phone. You can come in on phone or video. And it's a great way to get monthly guidance, numerology, spirituality, healing, psychic, mediumship. And I spend, depending on how many people show up and take advantage of their subscription perks, if you will. Sometimes we can spend 10 to 15 minutes chatting and kind of guiding you for what's going on in question. It's a lot cheaper than booking me outside of the subscription services, put it that way. If you hit my Click for Advisor, if you book a reading through marclainhart.com, it's going to be a lot more expensive because you're paying for my time, right? My time is my greatest commodity, not the money you pay me. I know I need money to survive this journey of life. It helps to be retired, but at the same time, I put in the work and I put in the time, and you're paying me for my time to help you. Whatever that may be. There's lots of different modalities. I want to say thank you to those of you that stopped by the Conscious Wellness Expo. Those that sat in my featured talk, which was about the language of spirit, many different tools. This is a tool right here off camera. You guys like my new flute? My new flute in the key of G, 432 hertz. I have named him Doug after the great football player Doug Flutie. So this is my newest addition to the studio. But you can see the tool that I use. This is an EMF meter, and this measures energy, frequency, and vibration. The same things that Nikola Tesla talked about. If you want to unlock the secrets of the universe, you have to start to think. You have to unlearn a lot of what you've learned and relearn through the techniques of energy, frequency, and vibration. So in the featured lecture, had about 25 people, good turnout. Did a demonstration mediumship, which is always fun and interesting and evidential and intelligence and healing. But I showed them different tools that we can use on this journey to consciousness. Again, being Gumby on the wheel of life, the wrecking ball of life, and helping people understand some of the things that we go through, we just don't understand. And when we don't understand something, that can lead us to fear. And fear is a very low vibrational energy, and something that I discourage people to get into. Again, your fears go back to your traumas. Your fears go back to your learned behavior, how you're raised, maybe a religious concept. They can trigger you. And I had that this weekend. I had a young lady that was triggered in a very negative way by the information that was coming through me as the medium. And it's unfortunate, because her father had made his transition and he was trying to come through in a very funny way in his mannerisms, who he was, but she just was not ready. He'd been in the spirit world for just less than 6 months, and he went out pretty quick and pretty tragically. And that's just a reminder to anybody that's looking to work with a medium. This is on my website as well. I always recommend waiting at least 4 to 6 months, at least. People want to have that instantaneous, and sometimes you're just not ready. That grief that you're in, that rawness, that anger, and that's what she was. She was angry, and so she actually, she was sitting with her family, her mom and her brother, and she got up because she just wasn't ready to receive, and that's fine. I don't take it personally, but it was, as the medium, sometimes as the messenger, do get shot at, and so she stood up and put the finger at me and 3 fingers back at her, walked off. But what was the saving grace of it was the mom and the brother actually said they'd like to stay and hear what was going to be revealed. And I didn't charge them for the reading because it just didn't feel right. But it was a great learning experience for me as well, that some people are just not ready to receive the information from the other side. But teaching people how to receive the signs, the symbols, the synergy, the synchronicity, things that I exactly went through. I didn't sign up for this, y'all. I didn't sign up to have a podcast, to write, my first book, which is sitting right behind me, to have a spiritual development group, to spiritual growth collective, to consult others in this journey of love, loss, life, birth, death, everything in between. But through the course of time, through my own journeys and through my own experience and through my own loss, it helped me to understand that there is more to the bigger picture of reality. And those are the signs and the symbols and the synergy and the synchronicities and the different tools that we can use. And hopefully I can help you today with a little sound bath that I'm going to do for you. And then also this story that I wrote called The Journey of Maya, Finding Her True Self. So again, thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my team for keeping, the platform positive. Social media. I'm not a big fan of social media anymore, to be honest with you. You may have learned that I'm not on here as frequent as I used to be. And there's reasons for that, because that's part of maintaining my connection to peace and quiet and healing and transformation. So let me get over to the page real quick, and then we're going to share a story. So if you want to grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab a protein shake. I got them both. Got my protein shake, got my water, got my coffee, pumpkin spice latte that I make myself. I'm getting quite good at it. And we're going to talk about this journey of Maya, an artist, and then I'm going to give you some tips, and then we're going to move into a meditative sound bath healing, if that's what you need for Friday. It's Fridays, right? Maybe you're at the end of your week and you've had a real long stressful anxiety-filled week. I know there's a lot going on in the universe, a lot going on in society, a lot of uncertainties, and like I said, the quote from was it Doc Brown from Back to the Future? If my calculations are correct, we're right finishing up in the middle of 2025. We're in the year of the 9 in 2025, this decade, which I said would be our roaring 20s. We only have 2 more months, and then the year of the 1 is going to start. And if my calculations are correct, like Doc Brown, we're about to see some serious shit, including, like I said, the three-eye atlas, which is, if you don't know that concept and what's going on with that, you might want to check that out if you're a believer in the extra dimensional construct or multiverse or extra dimensional beings or stargates. I'm a believer because I've had my own experiences. I've seen them with my own eyes. I felt their presence in my Coast Guard days. And this three-eye atlas, which is the 3 stands for, this is the third interstellar. That's what the 3-eye stands for. Third interstellar object that's moving very, very fast through our solar system. It's come from another universe, another solar system, not our own. And it's been traveling, and they started picking this up in March. It's about to hit the sun, the gravitational pull of the sun, and astronomers, the James Webb, the EU, and their telescopes are watching it because our telescopes aren't necessarily functioning because our government is shut down. Conveniently, interesting, synchronistically, coincidences, right? But what they're showing is there's some alarms going off because it's slowing down, and comets don't speed up or slow down. And this comet, it may be just a new comet we've never seen before. We have to have that logical conversation as well. But when you have professors from Harvard stepping forward and putting their academic reputation on the line to say that this is an intelligence, not a comet, whether you want to call that a mother alien spaceship or close encounters of the third kind, whatever you want to refer to it, we're watching this very closely. Wouldn't that be something? Because it's supposed to be showing up here at the end of October and November. Wouldn't that be something to learn that we're not alone? That would be quite transformative for our Roaring 20s, wouldn't it be? Right in the middle of our Roaring 20s, that would be pretty much an invite to something bigger than ourselves. Welcome to the Star Trek world. Welcome to the Star Wars universe, if you will. But along with that, just everything that we're producing, things that we're producing at a mass scale through 3D printing, which was once something you only saw in Star Trek. 3D printing something. Now we 3D print all the time. Algorithms that are changing how we interact. AI, which is machine learning. Artificial intelligence, which has now been referred to several times as superior intelligence. Machine learning is teaching the machines to learn just like we did as humans, because we didn't always read and write. We were, storytelling. Robotics is the big thing that's already going to start replacing AI, and robotics is going to replace a lot of jobs that we take for granted today. Just like when I was in one of my first jobs, besides serving ice cream at Baskin Robbins, was working at Safeway as a courtesy clerk. That was the title, courtesy clerk. So this would have been in the late 80s, early 90s when I started. And it was asking people, would you like paper or plastic? Very, can I help you with your groceries out? Being in service, right? One of my first jobs has always been to be in service, right? And now that job has really gone away. Anytime I go to the store, I don't really see a courtesy clerk, and I don't see anybody ever ask me if I want paper or plastic because I'm bagging my own groceries, right? So that is an example of jobs that will go away. But again, not the doom and gloom and the fear of that, the fear of the unknown but again, being flexible on this wrecking ball like Gumby to say what jobs are going to be created just like the Industrial Revolution. We're in our next Industrial Revolution. And wouldn't that be something if we learn that we're not alone, how that would transform philosophy, religions, communications, medicine, and transportation? The list would go on and on. So I think it's an exciting time, even though there's a lot of uncertainty with our species, which has always been on the planet, and even the planet has let us know and has changed. But wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something as a step in transformation and ascension? But it would be timing, right? Again, if my calculations are correct, we're about to see some serious shit. So pay attention to the 3-eye atlas, which means the third interstellar object that is traveling towards Earth. It's not going to hit Earth. But I'm curious to see what's going to unfold. I would say wait, watch, and witness for the forecast. But I'm curious to see what it is going to be. Is it going to be a new comet that's behaving in ways that science has never seen before? Or is it an asteroid with a species that's more intelligent than us or more advanced than us that's actually found their way to travel to us? The most interesting thing about this, besides the Harvard scientist or professor, I think he's a scientist, Avi Loeb, He's actually stepped forward in the public domain to say that this is intelligence that we don't understand. And if it slows down around the sun, then there's definitely going to be some alarm bells going off in Washington, D.C. and the government to say, hey, there's something that is intelligence that's actually slowing down by the sun's gravitational energy or pull or refill, whatever you want to be. That's going to put some people on alert because there will be people that move to the fear-based energy, the fear-based concept, because that's, how we are as species. But for me, what's interesting is it's coming from the same location in the sky. And I've got on my desktop, I've got an actual picture of the Milky Way. There's a lot of sky out there, right? If you just look up, there's a lot of sky. What's most interesting to me is this is coming from the same location as the WOW signal in 1977, the same year as the first Star Wars came out. This WOW signal was about 72 seconds long. And it was a message, it was a signal received. And to this day, scientists, there's a lot of theories and hypotheses of, things that go boom out in space, but it's never actually been confirmed and it's never been debunked. So it's that pseudoscience that scientists just don't know what it was. What's interesting to me is this 3-eye atlas is coming from the same part of the sky towards us as the WOW signal. So you start thinking of the theory of relativity that Einstein talked about. If we send a signal out, with Voyager 1, 47 years ago, and it's taken them this much to travel, who knows, right? Because time becomes the great illusion, especially when it comes to space travel. So lots of interesting things. And again, if my calculations are correct, 2 months left in 2025, the year of the 9 is going to be coming to a completion. We're going to start over at the year of the 1 and buckle up because the next 5 years is going to be wow. Wow, wow, wow. There'll be the good, the bad, and the ugly, things that you'll agree with and things that you don't agree with. There's a lot of things I see out there that I don't agree with, but I don't go out and publicly say it anymore. It's not worth my time. It's not worth the fights and the debates. But again, on today's topic, this is about finding yourself in this chaos, right? Finding yourself in this storm. The best place that you can do if you find yourself in the wheel of life, the many spokes of life that life throws at us, your best is to try to move to the center of that wheel, because when you're on the outside getting spun around, it's not a very fun place to be. But if you can take steps to know yourself and to move into the center of that wheel, you're not getting spun around. You're still getting impacted by the spin of life, but you're not as impacted. So I'm going to tell you a story about trying to find yourself, and hopefully that resonates. Hopefully that encourages you and motivates you and helps encourage you to, again, we try to connect, inspire, empower here for Metaphysical Meetup. So this is a story I wrote for today's show, and it says this: the journey of Maya finding her true self. Let me just move it over here. I can read it to you because I won't remember it, so I have to write things down. All right, and I'm going to give you some tips to help you to know thyself with this journey, because this is not an easy, but we can prospect together, and together we can make things easier, right? So the journey of Maya finding her true self. So once upon a time in a vibrant city, say Seattle, there lived a young woman named Maya, and she was known for her smile and her kind heart. But deep down, she felt lost and unsure of her place in the world. I don't know how many of you have ever felt like that. I know I have many, many times felt lost and unsure of my place in this world. Despite her steady job at a marketing firm, let's say there's many companies in Seattle, big companies, right? Including those that make coffee, right? Maya often found herself daydreaming about a more adventurous life, filled with creativity and purpose. So with the opening of that story is we want to set the catalyst for change, because I personally believe in the three C's. Make a choice, take a chance, see the change. And with the catalyst of change, when you make that opportunity, yeah, it can be a scary place to be on the ledge and take a leap of faith, but you're never going to learn how to fly if you never leave the nest, right? So we want to move into a catalyst for change. So when we follow that catalyst for change, just like, there's a catalyst from the caterpillar to the butterfly, right? Caterpillar never flew. Butterflies never crawled like a caterpillar, right? Because of the catalyst for change. So one day, while wandering through a local art gallery here in Seattle, Maya came across a captivating painting of a vast ocean under a starlit sky. The artist, an elderly woman named Clara, was nearby, And Maya couldn't help but express her admiration. And Clara, noticing spark in Maya's eyes, invited her to join a weekend retreat that she was hosting in the countryside. With a mix of excitement and nervousness, Maya signed up. This retreat became a turning point for her. And again, I emphasize the excitement and nervousness. If you have excitement and nervousness, that's a good thing. Embrace that, right? That is called, now you've got the catalyst for change. Now you're feeling this, well, should I do this? I don't know. This is embracing creativity. And at the retreat, she was surrounded by nature and her fellow art enthusiasts. Maya discovered the joy of painting. She had never considered herself an artist, but as she dipped her brush into vibrant colors, she felt a sense of freedom she had never experienced before. Each stroke of the canvas became a form of self-expression, allowing her to explore her thoughts, her feelings, and her emotions. During group discussions, Maya realized that many of the attendees had faced their own struggles with identity and purpose. They shared stories of fear, perseverance, resilience, triumph, tragedies, loss, victories, which inspired her to reflect on her own journey. And then we have the catalyst of change. Then we have embracing creativity. Now we have the revelation, right? And the revelation can be overpowering, can be a little bit overbearing, but again, it shows you've asked for that, right? Make a choice, take a chance, see the change. The catalyst for change, embracing creativity through those channels I just talked about in this story, the revelation. And one evening, as the sun set over the hills, Maya sat by the fire with Clara, and she shared her feelings of an inadequacy and her desire to find a path that resonated with her true self, to know thyself. Clara listened intently and then shared her own story of overcoming obstacles to become a successful artist later in life. Quote, finding yourself, end quote, Clara said, is not just about discovering what you love. It's about embracing all parts of who you are, even the messy bits. Every experience shapes you. Don't be afraid to explore. Don't be afraid to explore. Don't be afraid to prospect, to find the diamond within. And when you have that revelation, then it starts a new beginning. Motivated by Clara's words, Maya returned to the city with a renowned sense of purpose. She began painting regularly, using her art to express her emotions and tell her story. She even started a blog to share her journey, connecting with others who felt lost and encouraged them to explore their own passions. As time passed, Maya's art gained recognition. As she was invited to showcase her work in local galleries, with each painting, she not only found herself, but also inspired others to embrace their uniqueness and pursue their dreams. And that's what this story, I hope, is for you, to empower you, to encourage you, to motivate you. But it's also to know that you are authentic. There's only one you. There's billions of people on this planet, but only one you, my friend. And to pursue your passions, your purpose, and your dreams. Dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and discover the diamond within and the many hidden gems that are all around us. And what happens is you start to enjoy the empowerment community. This is an empowerment community. Connection, inspire, empower. Maya's journey didn't stop there. She realized the importance of community and mentorship. Again, mentorship is very, very important. I've had some amazing mentors over my journey. Not always fun. Sometimes the learning lessons or growing pains are not fun, but mentors are very important for the journey. And so she continued the importance of not just community, but mentorship. She was inspired by Clara. She started workshops and aspiring artists, creating a safe space for others to explore their creativity without judgment. And through her initiatives, she empowered many to break free from their doubts, their self-sabotage, and embrace their passions and who they are. She became a beacon of hope, reminding everyone that it's never too late to find your true self. I think, if you have a thought and you think, therefore you are. And so finding yourself is, and I got it right here because it's my constant reminder of knowing the self. I picked this card years ago when I was first starting to work with plant medicines. Self-observation, awakening, self-understanding, enlightenment. And the thing about this card is enlightenment doesn't mean the journey's over. Enlightenment, as Buddha, teaches us, enlightenment, some of you may attain enlightenment. If you do, congratulations. I'm still been searching for years, and I may be searching for years before I find that piece of enlightenment. But Buddha always talked about enlightenment. Even after enlightenment, you still got to tend the garden, you still got to do the laundry, you still got to clean the toilet. There's things in life that you still have to do. And it's funny because when nobody else is there for you, remember there's always one thing that's there for you: laundry. So, in the conclusion of this story time, and I hope you enjoyed it, her story is a testament to the power of self-discovery, creativity, and community. It shows us that finding oneself is a journey filled with challenges, triumphs, tragedies, successes, failures, which I always say failure is first attempt in learning, and that sharing our stories can inspire others to embark on their own paths of encouragement, empowerment, and most importantly, fulfillment. So these are some things that you can do, and we'll move into our meditation. If you want to leave a comment where you're from, if you're just joining us for the first time, reflect and journal on your journeys. Set aside time regularly to reflect on your thoughts and feelings. Write in a journal. I've got 3 journals. I got my newest journal that I haven't started writing in yet from Portugal. It's a cork journal. It's all made of cork. That's my other journal. I've got 3 journals right off camera. This one's about done. This one is 3 different journals for 3 different, ways of being. I've also got my dream journal that I don't have here. Dream journal is capturing dreams. But write in a journal about your experiences, your dreams, and what makes you happy and what makes you frustrated. That's a part of to know thyself. Ask yourself questions like, what do I enjoy? What are my values? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Because we can always turn weaknesses into strengths. I can tell you one of my strengths that I've really been working on is I've just completed my 5th surgery since last April. 5 major surgeries. But now, do I look at the surgeries as a victim of this is happening to me, or is this happening for me? Because 5 also represents in numerology freedom, love, and adventure. And through these 5 surgeries and my retirement, that's where I find myself: freedom, love, and adventure. Right? Lots of pain along the way to have 5, 3 to my back, 1 to my hip, and 1 to my knee. But it's also from a life lived in the Coast Guard and as a first responder, firefighter, EMT. So no regrets. Do it all over again. But I ask myself those questions: how can I turn those strengths? How can I take those weaknesses of my body and turn those into strengths? Working out, daily meditation, qigong, getting out in nature, exploring new interests. So these are just some of the things that you can help to know thyself. Try new activities. Take a hobby. Take something that you've always dreamed about. The guy I interviewed on Wednesday, he had done a lot. He was a pilot, and I'm just thinking he's written 2 books. He's on my show. He was a Hollywood actor. He was a musician. Just with the time you have left, think about what you want to accomplish and try those new activities. I always remind my students in my development group, the Spiritual Growth Collective, that if you're going to be a part of this, there are times that you're going to need to get comfortable being in that uncomfortability, myself included. Step out of your comfort zone, because this can reveal hidden passions and talents you didn't even know you had. If you would ask me 20 years ago that I had this talent to do this, to connect, to give readings, to consult, to inspire, to write, to podcast, I would have said no way. There was other things that I wanted to do, including, being in the Coast Guard, being a lifesaver, getting the adrenaline of going out and on a boat and getting hoisted by a helicopter, or diving into the ocean to save somebody, or searching for, millions and millions of uncut cocaine, then becoming a firefighter, being that adrenaline junkie, going in to help somebody, remove somebody from a fire, or, a mangled car, doing CPR, all of that. But over the last probably 7 years, that has transformed to where I didn't need to do that anymore, But I started taking new activities. I started trying new things. I started traveling to understand different modalities of spiritualism, of psychic, of healing, psychic sciences, not just the word psychic, but psychic sciences, mediumship. And so step out of your comfort zone, because that is the only way you're going to know thyself. Connecting with nature, spending time outdoors is so very important. Practicing mindfulness, engaging while you're on these activities, whether it's walking, hiking, simply sitting in a park, focusing on your surroundings. These will be an amplifier of who you are to help you know thyself. Seek out supportive communities like what we offer here in Metaphysical Meetup. Surround yourself with positive influences. That's very important. Connect with people who uplift you and inspire you, because misery loves company. And I have had to reevaluate and rearrange many of my relationships, because it's, and no judgment there's no judgment on them. It's just, I can't be around that type of, woe is me, and there's always something wrong, or I'm never healthy, and I just don't choose especially with what I've gone through with these last 5 surgeries. I don't have time for that. And you know, you can always love people from a distance and hold space for them without judgment or opinion. But surround yourself, because like attracts like, and a rising tide lifts all boats. And if you've got somebody that's on a boat that's constantly going against the tide and doesn't want to be, you know, with the rising tide, that's fine too. You know, letting go of what other people think of you. Lao Tzu I just posted about this. Lao Tzu said this: if you care about what other people think, you will always be their prisoner. So you've got to move. You can still work in life with compassion and kindness and caring in who you are, but at the same time, some changes that you're going through look negative. They do. I thought when I was being forced to retire medically last April because of my surgeries, because I am a disabled veteran, I looked at those changes on the surface as negative. But I soon realized that that space needs to be created. And so you sometimes have to go through the negative shit of life to create space in your life for something new to emerge. And boy, I'm so happy after all this and looking back, I'm glad that I trusted the process, because the way knows the way. And so if you can, and I only know that and can say that to you and reflect upon that because of my journaling, because of, you know, seeking out supportive communities, seeking out communities that, you know, help me work with plant medicines or mindfulness or meditations or sound healing. That's the only reason I can share that with you today. And so, you know, join groups that align with your interests and your values. And again, join groups that, you know, when I say values, that offer integrity, morals, ethics. You know, if you want to join a group that's, you know, based on, you know, racism or misogyny or fascism, that's your free will and choice to do so. It's just not something I would ever be a part of, because those are not values. You know, humans treating other people. Somebody asked me the other day with a negative situation, what can I do? And I said, as long as there's a human present, you can always be kind. That's the one thing you can do. And so, you know, these can also provide, by doing what I'm saying, these can provide a sense of belonging and encouragement and inspiration to empower you, right? Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself during challenging times like this. Give yourself grace. Practice, you know, self-care, sleep, hydration, exercise, meditation, doing nothing. You know, understand that everyone faces struggles and setbacks, but a setback is also a set up to take that next step of transformation. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment. It's okay to acknowledge your feelings and how you're feeling, but don't judge yourself and don't move into that self-sabotage, ego voice, self-criticism. It's okay to feel lost and confused at times. Sometimes you're right where you need to be, in that space of lost and uncertainty. That's why I'm hoping today's show will help you. This is what I talked about earlier. Set goals and take small steps. You don't have to do everything all at once. And that was part of my problem. I wanted to take everything at once. I've got so much time left, and I'm, you know, I kind of always remind myself as Alexander Hamilton, I'm writing like I'm running out of time. But define your goals. What do you want to achieve in the different areas of your life? Career, personal growth, relationships. Break them down into manageable steps. Celebrate the small achievements along the way to build momentum for what you're trying to do. For me, limit social media consumption. There is actually a term. Excuse me. I just heard a term. What was it called? Because social media is also to attract the dopamine in the brain. There's some scientific, psychological stuff behind social media as well, because it is a dopamine drop. It is a dopamine hit. But take breaks from social media. It can create unrealistic comparisons and distractions and misinformation and disinformation and cognitive dissonance and gaslighting. If you don't know what these terms are, you might want to look them up, because they're happening every single day on many different channels and different platforms. Hopefully you won't find that. If you do, if I misinform, I'll call myself out. I'll say, hey, I misinformed you, my apologies. But just know my intent is never to have cognitive dissonance, gaslighting, or misinformation or disinformation of what I'm trying to share with you on today's journey. Practice mindfulness, incorporate, you know, meditation in everyday activities. I'm thankful for today's coffee. I'm thankful for my new garment that I got, the owl that I wear at my ceremonies, which represents wisdom. I'm thankful for my protein shake. I'm thankful for a roof over my head. You can move into the attitude of gratitude to shift how you're feeling. Am I in pain? Yeah, I'm still in pain from my back surgery, but I can't focus on the pain. I can focus on what I am thankful for right now in the present moment. So again, seek guidance from mentors. Find a mentor or a coach who can provide some insight, inspiration, support based on your experiences, also, but based on their experiences to help people meet people where they're at. Like the young girl that, stepped away from my booth this weekend because she just was very upset, not ready to receive the information. That's okay. I would imagine that our paths will cross again and she'll be in a better way. And if her dad wants to come through, he'll find a way, right? That's the intelligence of evidential mediumship. But along the way, practice that mindfulness of, holding space for her because she is angry. She's in deep grief. She just lost her dad 6 months ago, very tragically. I understand that because I remember getting a phone call with my brothers, set in motion for my brothers and my father-in-law all at the same time. So I get that. But I also understood seeking out guidance from mentors and teachers to help me understand the pattern, the circle of life, the sacredness of life, and learning from others who have gone through similar journeys because they can provide valuable lessons. And again, meeting people where they're at. Not trying to fix you. I'm not going to fix you. I got to fix myself first. But fixing others is not what the business I'm in. Be patient with yourself. Understand that self-discovery is a journey. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not a destination. It's the old adage, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is the great mystery. Today is the gift. That is why we always refer to it as the present moment, being in the present, being a human being, because in order to be a human being, you have to be in the present moment to know that you're being, right? Embrace the process, trust the process, the way knows the way. Allow yourself to grow and change without rushing to fit into a mold or to a barrier or whatever someone else thinks of you. It takes time and effort. So give yourself lots of patience, lots of grace. It takes time and effort. I hope that story resonates with you. And just remember, finding oneself is an ongoing process that involves exploration, reflection, growth, courage, to be open to the journey, to what is seen and what is unseen, and trust that you're evolving and that you're ascending and that you're transforming into your authentic self. So, hope that resonates. The best I can do for you today. If you want to leave any comments, please do so. We're going to move into a sound meditation, a sound healing. So give me a second to get that set up for you. And we're going to just watch the world go by. Got this. It's just going to be for a few minutes. But, this is maybe why you're joining. You need that break from life. You need that break from the chaos, drinking from the fire hose of information. Let me get this speed up for us. So everybody just take a nice deep breath with me. Thanks for hanging out. It's just, I apologize because I am a one-man team. My moderator and my administrators, they help me online through the comments, but everything behind the scenes I have to do. So bear with me. All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to get queued up. Let me just check the comment section real quick. I may do a couple readings after live readings, especially if you hold a badge on your name. I'm looking for my followers, my top fans, my paid prospectors, my Patreon prospectors. So if you are, you'll know who you are because you'll have a badge next to your name. You've been following my journey. A lot of times I work with those people first. You kind of get the VIP front of the line experience if I do any readings. But it's also feeling called to do I want to do any readings? Do I want to connect? All right. So let me just say good morning. There's a couple of you coming in. Hi, Hilda. Hi, Emily. Hi, Kira. Happy Friday to you. Hi, Adriana. Good to be here today. Good morning to my mom. Good morning. Good morning, Hamed. Hello from Turkey. But in Turkey today, government closed an opposite TV channel and arrested the manager. Yeah. Jeez. Adriana saying I have my gratitude journal, a day reflection journal, a knowledge journal. Good, 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 you guys. Keep it going. I hope you like the new show content, the new form. Again, connect, inspire, empower is really where we're kind of going. This is intentional. I waited until the end of 2025 as we get ready to go into the year of the one because we're halfway through the age of transformation. There's going to be more stuff coming, more workshops. Now that I'm almost healed, I probably have about another week of healing before I can really feel back to my 100%. Hopefully no more surgeries. 5 is enough, but 5 also represents love, freedom, and adventure in the numerology pathways. And with that, if you want to learn more about what's coming up for the syndicated show Inspired Living, we have a new format that's going to be rolling out, and that's going to include a television platform and then podcast platform. So we'll be interviewing through Om Times Television, and then that will go to the podcast format. That's supposed to be taking place in the next couple of months. I'm working with the producer at Om Times and creating new content and some new pictures and stuff like that. So pay attention to that. You can get Inspired Living wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. We're streaming through every platform, including YouTube, Audible, Alexa, SoundCloud, Podbean, iTunes, iHeartRadio. Just look for Inspired Living in My Ugly Mug to listen to 10 seasons of amazing guests, teachers, mentors, everything I'm talking about today to know thyself. There will be a topic somewhere in that 10-year span that you would probably resonate with, including the gentleman we just had on Wednesday. And we have now guests booked out until I think we're into February. I'll have to check them out with my team, but at least January, February of 2026. So new stuff is coming. I'm on the mend. I'll be doing more events, more shows, and I hope that you'll enjoy them and also join me to prospect together, because it's through the togetherness that we will make changes for our world. In this meditation today, I want you to use the sound vibration. This is going to be, I believe, this is the 432 hertz that was recorded for the journey. And again, just maybe kind of watch the world go by as the world turns. I think that was a famous soap opera back in the day, As the World Turns. I want to say that is. And just know where you're at and why you're here, and be in the present moment, because today is all that you ever have. And then we'll come back. So everybody take a deep breath. Get rid of any distractions for the next few minutes. Place your feet on the ground. Sit up straight. Take some breaths. This is a great way to know thyself. This is a great way to tune in, to understand and listen to your higher self voice, but also tell your ego voice to shut the hell up for a few minutes so you can actually connect to something bigger than yourself. And I hope that you enjoy this meditation. On this last minute, take a nice deep breath, breathing in what you want, what you need, what you require to know thyself. Hold on to that energy, that prana, that love, that guidance, that deeper wisdom. And at your own pace, when you're ready, with a nice big sigh, just let it all go. Ah, Buddha reminds us we need to let that shit go. Just let it go. Just let it go. The choice is always our own to hold on and get dragged or let go and be free. That's the journey, and that's what we choose for the journey. And the obstacles blocking the path, those obstacles, those are. Taking one more nice, deep, cleansing, healing breath. Breathing in what you want, breathing in peace and love and surrender and growth, transformation and healing. When you get to the height of your breath, you can't take any more breath into your lungs. Just take a little bit through your lips. Hold on to that for a second. With a nice big sigh, just let it all go. Because from my perspective, this planet looks very peaceful. We're out here in outer space looking down. All the billions of people connecting through the light, through the energy, make our world go round and round. Taking in one more nice deep breath. What you want it to be. Nice big sigh, let it all go. And so it is. All righty, give you a second just to get acclimated. Again, that's a sound bath. I hope you enjoyed it. 432 hertz, which is the healing frequency, recorded. As you can see, I've got my sound bath platform behind me. So if you're ever interested as a subscriber, this is something that you can choose to do as part of your reading, part of a sound bath. We have many different ways to connect, not just video, but over the phone, in person, in the studio here. So if anybody has any questions for me, go ahead and ask. If you're one of the subscribers, paid subscribers, you got a badge next to your name, feel free. I'll kind of identify you first. If you're new to the show, let us know where you're from. I'd love to hear from you. We had somebody tuning in from Turkey. Beautiful. One of the bucket list countries I want to go to. I just spent 3+ weeks in Portugal, exploring the people, the culture, the wine, the food. Amazing country, and I've heard great things, wonderful things spiritually about Turkey as well. So that's definitely on my bucket list to visit. But let me know where you're from in the world, because we share this world together. I hope that you enjoyed today's topic, which is about finding yourself, your true, authentic self, to know thyself. And again, as we move forward, you can see there's a little bit new content. I'm going to cue us up for some music to close out the show. If there are no more questions, I hope that you enjoy the rest of your Friday, and you have a great weekend. It's going to be pretty stormy and wet here in the Pacific Northwest. 'Tis the season. So great time to practice your music, do some journaling, sit by the fire, reflect on, what's important for you to know thyself and to heal and to transform and to let go. So Adriana is in California. Love it, love it, love it. So if you have any questions, I'll just leave this last few minutes before we close. I'm going to cue up a song for us. Something So Good was the opening song by Charlie Peacock. Next week is Halloween, so I'll try to do something special for that. Color card reading, please. You bet. Give me one sec, my dear. Get the colors. It's always, it's always important to work with colors as well. Colors are a big part of the journey. So I've got my color deck right off camera here. Adriana knows how this works. You can tell she has a badge next to her name, so she's either a follower or a subscriber, one of the three, one of the two, one of the three. So she knows how this works. So go ahead and take a deep breath, Adriana. My mom just chimed in, said we are going back to Turkey in May of 2026. Yeah, great things about Turkey I've heard. So that will be an awesome time in May. Um, Love it. All right, Adriana, I'm going to shuffle the deck. When you hear the word stop in your mind, this is trust in the higher self that we talked about today. Hear it here, say it here while I'm shuffling. And I'm going to cue up our going out song. And just type in stop in the comment section when you had that. When you've heard the word stop, just type it out on the keyboard. I guess you could say it, but I wouldn't hear you, right? So make sure to type it in the comment section stop. And that's a card we'll pull for you. And again, anybody else need a quick reading, some guidance, some inspiration? Again, we're all about connecting, inspiring, empowering, especially with everything going on in the world. I didn't know why I was called to do this many years ago, but now I do, given the state of our world, given the state of our consciousness, given the state of our being as human beings. And like I said, if my calculations are correct, like Doc Brown, we're into witnessing some serious shit. All right, here's your card, my friend. All right, so you type stop in the comment section. Your word is azure, protect yourself. It's a 36, so the 3 and the 6. The color blue is very, very powerful in the color of blue. Let me go to my color Bible real quick here. No, that's not my color Bible. Do I not have my color Bible? No, I do. But I love this color actually. This color, I just put this up in, I just put this color in our kitchen, in the up above in our kitchen. Then also this is the color I go to when I'm in my hot tub, the color azure, the cobalt blue, so called cobalt blue, the azure. But the 3 and the 6 energy, it's talking about protecting yourself right now, Adriana. So the number 3 is what we in numerology call the creative expressive energy. So it's being in creation. The 6 energy on this card is compassionate humanitarian. So doing something that's very compassionate, something, something that's creative, something that's compassionate for yourself, for the world, for your family, for your friends. And then, of course, 3 plus 6 equals 9. So that means right now. That means in this year, because we only have 2 more months of this year. The color blue, let's see here, is definitely, tied to the throat chakra, which is here. And again, this is how we communicate, right? But this is just a vibration off a vocal cord. So it's actually quite primitive. And what I teach people with the language of spirit is how to connect here, 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 how to connect down here in the solar plexus, right? But the color blue for the throat chakra is also the number 5th chakra moving up. So that is also about love, freedom, and adventure. Let's see here. The color, the vibrational chant for that. I work with Sufi. I work with the Sufi tradition, so very ancient, going back to where in the world we would, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, that part of the world, the Sufi tradition. And so for the color blue, let's see here. On the 5th chakra is going to be Yang, YOMMM. So if you want to open up that chakra, that blue energy that we pulled for you today, Adriana, it's going to be Yam, and it sounds like this. Take a deep breath in. Yam. As my space went to blue, that's kind of cool, right? So YOM, that's the Sufi tradition to activate the throat chakra based on the blue color of azure. And it's just also a way to protect yourself. So any other questions? Blue is my favorite color. Mom said, if time, I'd like to have a card. All right, Mom. My mom is watching online. What number would you like for the deck? Adriana is usually, her go-to is the color deck. I have 14 different decks off camera. So give me a number 1 through 14, because that will help choose your deck for what you're looking for today. Whether it's connection or inspiration or motivation or healing. A lot of times trust in our own free will based on the numbers. So again, 1 through 14, I got 14 decks just off camera here. And y'all, during my shows, if you ever see this fluctuate, please let me know. Sometimes I catch it, sometimes I don't. That just means that energy has moved into the space. And I work a lot with energy. And so I haven't seen it do anything today, but sometimes it just goes nuts. Mom, if you want to tell me 1 through 14, that would be spectacular. What deck you would like, and then we'll choose that deck. You'll take a deep breath. You'll type in the word stop when you hear the word stop in your mind. Again, that's working in the digital space, that's working in the quantum space, that's working in the telepathical state, that's working in the clairsentient state, many different states. Number 5, you got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, you picked a crystal deck today. So the number 5, which is Freedom, Love, and Adventure, this is a big deck. So give me a second just to kind of put the energy, infuse the energy into the deck for you. And then when you're ready, type in the word stop. And what I'll do on my end is I'll just shuffle. And when I see the word stop come up, that's the card we'll pick. But it's the crystal card that you're going to get. So you need to, go to your crystal store and then let the stone pick you, depending on what we pull here in a second when you type in stop. Because a lot of times we pick our stones, or do we? Or do they pick us? So I always say going to the gem store, an expo, like I was just at the Conscious Wellness Expo, and there was a ton of gems. Yes, I have one off camera. I'll show you here before I end stop. All right. So the color today that you picked was adventuring. So adventuring, and this is what it looks like. Kind of looks like, reminds me of like the color jade, that green color, which is, matters of the heart and healing the heart, and forgiveness for past and forgiveness for anything that's tied to the heart chakra. And what's funny is because the vibrational tone for the heart chakra is mum in Sufi tradition, M-U-M. So mum, and I'm connected with my mom right now. So it's kind of funny how that works. But it says this, adventuring. What is it? Shimmering adventuring, the good luck stone. So it's a translucent green quartz containing particles that create a glittery effect called, appropriately, adventure sense. It's a heart-centered, happy-go-lucky vibes, and is a reminder that this life on Earth experiment is supposed to be fun. So, and again, it's called adventuring. Who needs it? Melancholic inhabitants of ruts and funks. Anybody with a side hustle. Where to put it? In your pocket, on poker night, wherever you encounter people, places, and things hell bent to bring you down to the gutter level. So when to use it? When you find yourself in a crisis of confidence and it's time to wake up, clean up, and re-up your shine. And it's about showing off your sparkle. So this is adventuring. So this is the card based on the number 5 deck that you picked today. It's a great card. And like I said, when you go into the stores or if you're at an expo, tell them what you're looking for, adventuring, and this is for everybody else. Tell them what you're looking for, and then go around and look at the stones, look at them first. You may be drawn to a stone and then hold it. And then that stone will actually hold different ones and see which one resonates with you. Because many times the stone picks us. We don't pick it. We're just led to, go to a store and get adventuring. But a lot of times it'll have a vibration to it. It might be hot, it might be cold. So yes, I am a gemstone rock hound, if you will. And so usually at my Conscious Wellness Expo, I make money and then I go walking around, and my neighbor said, don't walk around because you end up spending money that you just made. But of all things, I got this stone, which some of you may recognize as, yes, the Star Wars Millennium Falcon, which is cool. This stone here, actually under the black light, you can't tell, but under the black light, it glows red. All of this actually lights up red under the black light. So this was the one stone that I picked. It wasn't too expensive, to be honest with you, but it's my Millennium Falcon stone. The stone itself is, I want to say it's obsidian based, but it's got some other elements into it. When you put this under the black light, this all lights up red, so it looks pretty cool. But this is my latest stone that picked me. I was like, see it, want it, buy it. I always tell people, if you see it, especially if you're traveling internationally or you're traveling, don't wait to go back to it. If you see something, see it, want it, buy it, because you don't want to ever have a grab like, damn it, I didn't grab that. And somebody else was looking at this, so I had her set it aside. But this is my obsidian stone based on the Millennium Falcon that actually lights up under the black light. So something different, something cool. And yes, it just sits right off along with all my other Star Wars paraphernalia, because I do believe in the Force. I think Star Wars for me as a kid at the age of 5 in 1977, after watching Close Encounters of the Third Kind in 1976, Star Wars 77, and then I had my own extraterrestrial experience in the Coast Guard in 1999 off the coast of Puerto Rico or the tip of the Bermuda Triangle. So I've always been fascinated and enamored with what we think we know and what we really don't know. And so I want to say thank you to everybody stopping in today. If nobody else has any other questions, we'll close this out. I did find a song, and it's called, I just had it, bear with me. I thought it was called Grateful for You, because I am grateful for you. There it is, Grateful for You by Makana. It's a slower paced song, but I am grateful for you. I'm grateful that you join me on these Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the Intuitive Prospector page. If you've not subscribed, liked, or followed, make sure to do that. We will be back on the air. Not this month. We just had our last show for October, but we'll be back on the air with 2 shows in November on the 12th and the 26th, so right before Thanksgiving here in the United States. So those 2 shows, and then another 2 shows in December. Like I said, we're booked out with guests all the way through, I believe, February, at least January, I believe. So Colleen, my awesome coordinator, will let me know. But tune into those shows, because those may help on the journey to find the diamond within and the many hidden gems all around us, and different concepts, not just psychic, not just mediumship, spiritual based, intuitive based, science based, medicine based. Like I said, it's not every day I get to talk with a famous Hollywood actor who turned down a Hollywood gig to follow his own spiritual practice. But he got to fight Sir Lancelot and Camelot. Linda Ronstadt recorded one of his songs, which I need to go listen to, called Carnival Bear. Just this guy was, he restores cars. He's a pilot. He's a man after my own heart. He's like an older version of me in his 80s as the intuitive prospector, and hopefully that's where I'll be. So I don't see any other questions coming in. Again, if you want to learn more about who I am, just visit marclainhart.com, internet search the Intuitive Prospector. Get on my newsletter, Soul Adventures, which will be coming out here this week or next week. I'm writing it just with upcoming events and the shows and just different things that we'll be working on. And then join me next Friday for another Metaphysical Meetup with the Intuitive Prospector, where we focus in on modalities of the journey, the human experience, human consciousness, and you may even get a little reading out of it. So, all right. So I'll leave it there because I don't see any more questions coming in. Thanks to Adriana for her question. Thank you to my mom for tuning in and getting a card herself. Go get that crystal. And I will see you all next Friday. Same time, same bat channel. As I always like to say, namaste. I appreciate you. Grateful for you. Namaste. Namago. All right, everybody. Until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate. Most importantly, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and discover the diamond within and the many hidden gems that are all around us. We'll see you next time.
One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.